Hello, how's it going? I know it's been a while. I've been doing some things. Here's where we are at. Let's jump into it. So everything you can see here is pretty much what we had before, with the addition of the arena system. So I have this area right now. I can proceed, but then an arena begins, at which point monsters spawn from the various spawn points. Now I'll need to kill all of the monsters, and as you can see, my exit has been blocked, so let me just get this one. Oh, and then the arena is cleared. So there we have it. Pretty much that's it. Now this marks a major turning point in the sense that for now most of my work is going to be cosmetic, purely cosmetic moving forward, at least in terms of getting this demo done. And there'll be more programming work after that. But I figured this would be a good opportunity to briefly talk through my planning process and how I went from planning this thing out to implementing the feature. I'll just jump over here. When I'm working on a large feature, I try to break it down into steps, into user stories, and go from there. So first up we have, upon loading the level, an arena can be recognized once and only once. So the parameters for the arena, that is the number of waves of enemies and things like that, that's actually encoded in every single arena related object. And so I need to make sure I'm only loading all that stuff once. Okay. From there, upon recognizing an arena component is inserted, at which point I describe an arena component. It has a flag to indicate whether it's currently active, a number of waves which will count down as each wave is vanquished, a difficulty which just serves as a multiplier in the enemy spawning, basically, monster count, which is the number of monsters currently alive for the wave, and also some other parameters there. Upon recognizing an arena start area, an axis-aligned bounding box is inserted into the trigger collision layer. Next step, when the player intersects an arena start area, a message is published and all arena start areas for the entered arena are deleted. Next, the world has a set of dynamic blocks and can add and delete them. Remember that originally I had like a static collision mask, basically, that was built up. Well, now in addition to that static collision mask, I'm going to have a bunch of things which can be added or deleted on the fly. Okay. Upon loading an arena block, parameters needed to spawn the block are saved into a parameter component, which basically just has a whole collection of strings. It's basically saving, like what it says there, instead of instantiating a thing directly, it's saving those parameters so they can later on be used to spawn things. Upon triggering an arena, the set of blocks is constructed. The parameter components for each block is then deleted. Okay, no worries. Then after doing that, upon block construction, a growth component is also inserted. So what that does is basically we have like an initial scale factor, an end scale factor, and then a time span that occurs over. And then we also have a growth system which consumes growth components and uses them to update transform components of the relevant objects. And a growth component is a one-off event, so when a growth component reaches the end of its lifetime, it is removed. So by the time I had all of these points implemented, I got to the stage where I could basically walk along, jump into an arena start area, and then those blocks pop up and stop me from exiting. So then comes to actually making the monsters. So upon recognizing a monster spawner, a spawn component is constructed. We have here the position where we want to spawn things, as well as like a spawning rate and a tag for the relevant arena. I actually don't think I ended up using that. Anyway, right, the corresponding arena also remembers the spawner. Yeah. The arena system has a spawn wave function, which creates a number of monsters at each spawn point. the arena's monster count is incremented and its wave count is decremented. Upon receiving a kill signal, if the entity is a monster and there's an active arena, then the arena's monster count is decremented, and then if the monster count is less than 0. Anyway, if the monster count is less than 0 and the wave count is less than 0, then a new wave is bigger than 0, then a new wave is spawned, otherwise the arena ends. Then upon arena end, the arena blocks, axis aligned bounding boxes are removed. In other words, the dynamic boxes are removed from the collision system, so we can now walk through that space that was blocked off before, and we then add a growth component with the purpose of shrinking the blocks. And then in the growth system, when a growth component reaches the end of its life cycle, its lifespan, if the size is sufficiently small within some tolerance, then the object is completely removed. So that's how I'm getting those blocks to shrink down and then disappear. Super exciting, I know, but this is how I get stuff done. I plan it out and then implement it step by step. Got to gamify it. Now, there are a few things I'm going to do in the near future. A lot of that relates to controlling the camera. So you may have seen there was a final item there that I haven't implemented yet, and that is adding a little bit of camera shake when an arena begins, make it more dramatic. And I also want to change the camera's distance to the player based on the player's speed to keep it more dynamic, because I do have a 3D camera. I should probably use it. Okay, so that is it for now. I should probably talk a little bit about what's going to happen with the channel. Recently I made the decision to demonetize all of my videos. The reasoning behind that is currently I don't find it so much fun making a video to get like 5 cents. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that you guys, the viewers, probably don't enjoy watching all of those ads anyway. They're not that much fun. Maybe at a future point, if I start getting like exponentially more views and everything, then I'll switch it back on. But at the moment, my motivations with this are not monetary. Who knows, maybe I'll reverse that decision. Also, currently we are sort of towards the end of January, and I understand that I haven't been doing many or any tutorials. I am planning to start a new tutorial series when I get back to Australia, contingent upon many factors, okay? When I have the time, when it's fun, and I have started planning it out. I'm going to keep tight-lipped on it, but it'll be a cool thing. I'm actually pretty keen for it. But yeah, what an anticlimax, eh? Well, as always, have fun, and I will see you again soon. Bye.